Hey guys, it's Zach Thomas here for another episode of 3 Shades of Blue TV. I'm glad you guys could join us today. We're going to talk a little bit today about a specific topic. The bench, the Grizzlies bench, actually starting off the season was pretty abysmal. And last night, after a win over the Rockets, Dave Yeager actually addressed that in his press conference and kind of said that the media and fans had kind of killed the bench in the first 6 games. But when I looked at the stats, I saw that the bench actually has been the top 5 of the league in efficiency over the last 5 games. So if you were to take out the first 6 games when they were still kind of getting used to things, and I think Benno was kind of getting in there and they were trying to figure each other out, they've actually become one of the most efficient benches in the league, as well as shooting they're third in the league in field goal percentage. So what I wanted to do is some guys who are on our staff and kind of have them talk a little bit with me about this. And so I've got 3 people here. I've got Jason Roslet, which you know on Twitter as Fletch. I've got Chip Crane. Chip is on here as well. And then I also have one of our newer writers, Amanda Schultz, who is going to be joining us tonight. So welcome to all 3 of you. And let's get started. So, Chip, why don't we start with you? What do you think the success is, or what do you think the bench what has caused the bench's success bothered them in the first couple of games?
I think it's twofold what's happened. First of all, instead of starting the bench as a 5-man unit coming in basically all within a few possessions and running with totally secondary team, he's holding Gasol out later. He's bringing Zach in earlier. He's basically keeping at least 1 or not 2 starters on the court at all times, so that the bench players aren't an individual 5 group so much. And secondly, we moved Courtney out of the starting lineup and put him on the bench, and that brought in firepower, efficiency, spreading the court. It took a lot of pressure off of Quincy and John Lure to provide scoring off the bench, which helped them actually provide more scoring because they didn't feel the pressure to perform. And overall, it's just worked well.
All right, so Fletch, you've been actually a longtime Grizz fan. You see the Grizz shrine in the back there behind you. You've obviously seen a lot come through the bench. What exactly do you think has been the issue, and do you think fans were a little hard and a little too quick to jump on the bench starting off the season?
Definitely. One of the things that they do is the chemistry was just you got to remember when Benno comes in the game, he only started games last. Hadn't even got to play with this group in real time other than preseason and the playoffs last year. You could tell that they're gelling now because when Benno comes in, it's a little different than when Nick comes in because Benno's can score. He's looking to score. He's looking to be another option. And they're getting comfortable with him. You can see it on the floor, the way that he's running the floor, the spacing. They're not constantly going to help him. It seems like when Nick has the balls coming down, you'll watch the 2 and the 3 actually step up and try to come to him to help him more. And with Benno, they sit back and try to get better position on the floor. It kind of reminds me we had some old days, 04, 05. In those days, when you say bench, we didn't have a bench. We had some guys that barely were in the NBA that would come in and try to do some minutes. Our bench actually one year was Bo Outlaw. He was the entire bench. So we've seen some things over the years, but it's good. Like Chip was saying about Costa too, he's playing a lot better role with these guys on the floor. He seems to, but all of them are playing looser. They're playing better. The chemistry's been great, especially the last 5 games. The way that we came back in the Sacramento game, if it wasn't for the bench, we would have got. I'm pretty sure we lost that game by 10 or 15 points the way they came in loose and just played relaxed. And it seems like the pressure's off of them now.
As a media member, I sit on the media row and I sit there and talk to other guys, and we kind of all have the same talking points. But from a fan perspective, what are you seeing out of the bench that may be different now than it was at the start of the season?
You know, from the very beginning, I thought that people were entirely too hard on the bench. We're all about, our top 5, our starters, and now people are finally having some faith in the bench, which is great.
For me, I'm not concerned as much about the poor shooting of the bench because I think all of these guys have shown at various times in their career and even last year they're going to be able to shoot the ball. but I think they realize that defense is what this team's identity is based upon. Well, I really appreciate you all talking about the bench with me here on this episode of 3 Shades of Blue TV. And we'll continue to have some of these segments that will pop up every now and then on various issues that we'll discuss. So thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time.